What is immersive learning and what role does it play in these ages?
When you talk about early childhood learning, it's nothing to do with alphabets, numbers, milestones. So early childhood learning was all about indulging, co-playing, co-learning.
So, what things can be done at home to have a better learning space?
बच्चों को बहुत नहीं सीखना है, उनको कंटिन्यूस सीखना है. So they love repetitions.
So, we can see different parenting styles coming up than what was earlier when we were brought up and how I am bringing up my child.
Nowadays, people have started treating their children as their MBA project. Some are into very over scheduling, or rather their schedules are fixed. And then there are some parents who talk about gentle parenting. They don't shout at their kids at all. There is something called conscious parenting. You are not there to only correct your child, but you are there to guide them.
There was this very wonderful dialogue in this movie, this दे दे प्यार दे टू, कि अगर मेरे कुछ करने से आपकी इज्जत खराब हो जाती तो वो आपकी इज्जत कैसे हुई? How can one flourish in being a mommy entrepreneur?
What if we told you that most parenting happens not in teenage years, not even in school years, but before your child can even speak? And almost no one is teaching parents how to shape that phase consciously. Today's conversation might completely change the way you look at parenting. Welcome to Hustle and Heart with Juhi and Tanvi. And today we are diving into not just teaching children how to learn, but teaching parents how to raise.
Our guest today is someone who beautifully blends structure with soul, strategy with softness, and purpose with play. She's the founder and managing director of the Dancing Ducks, a space that's not just about mother-toddler programs, but about shaping early childhood, nurturing conscious parenting, and creating immersive learning experiences in a child's most formative years. By qualification, she's an MBA in marketing with a postgraduate degree in commerce. But beyond the degrees and designations, she's a true people's person, deeply passionate about dance, music, connection, and celebrations. Someone who doesn't just build programs or businesses, she builds experiences and communities. It's such a joy to welcome Ruchita Menon to Hustle and Heart. Welcome, Ruchita. We're so pleased to have you.
Absolutely, my pleasure to be here.
So, Ruchita, ages 0 to 5 are known to be the foundation years for neurological, emotional, and even behavioral development. So, what is immersive learning, and what role does it play in these ages?
So, Juhi, when I initially started this process, it just started with a complete enthusiasm towards spending time with my child. But as in when I started reading more about it, learning or speaking to other mommy friends of mine or mentors, I came across a concept where the whole genesis of an individual is formed in the first 5 years of a child. When you talk about early childhood learning, it's nothing to do with alphabets, numbers, milestones. What it really means is falling into each other's space and comforting each other. That was all it meant for me when I started this program. It had no intention of whether I'm going to curate gross motor skills, fine motor skills, and music is good for the child. It was not the intention. The intention was I wanted to be the superstar for my child. And like I always say this in my programs, if I am standing and Aishwarya Rai is standing, she being the most prettiest lady in the world, my child is still going to look at me because I am the center of his or her world. However, when parents come in, everybody comes in with their own set of love, anxiety, parenting goal, family vibe, ambitions as parents. And I think I'm an amalgamation of all of this. Somebody is an anxious parent. Somebody is a very comparison driven parent. Somebody is someone who's just come, they're juggling between their work, child, home, and they just want to establish some connection. And there are some who just want to come and experience and not manage their kids but enjoy with their kids. Like, I don't have a memory that me and my mom have discussed how much we love each other. Yeah, we feel
That never
shy. We
happened.
all
Yeah, that
feel
never
shy.
happened.
But now I make it a point to tell my son in front of everybody that how much I love him. I want to give them good touch confidence rather than talking about the bad touch that people are talking about. पहले experience तो करने दो, and then we will analyze whether it is good for us or not good for us. So early childhood learning was all about indulging, co-playing, co-learning. It's an amazing memory. So even today, when there are times we are into a phase of parenting where we have a lot of conflict, we don't match with our thought process, but somewhere that connection that was established initially, the value system that went initially, still stays with us. And it is a reminder for me too. Somebody asked me once that, okay, do you think my child will start speaking? Do you think my child will start walking? Of course, having said that, I'll be honest to both of you that I've also felt those spurts with me, when I'm seeing my child and the other child doing something. Not that I have not told my child that aap bhi karo, aapko bhi karna chahiye. It's nice, good for you. But then I've also come to a consent when I've seen more calmer parents that it's okay, they will all pace up. So let's not go into report card system, worksheets, and how many worksheets do you all do in the sessions, or what happens in early childhood. You think my child will be able to learn so many words, 100 words?
But this is so shocking. I mean, I remember when I put in Sanveer in your program,
Yes.
I didn't have any milestone checklists that I wanted to tick off. It was more about, yeah, like you said, building an experience for him outside what he's already, living at home. And it has its own benefits, it has its own consequences, and it's only natural if a little bit of comparison comes in the minds. I only think one thing is that जिंदगी भर ही तो चलना है, थोड़ा लेट चलोगे तो क्या ही हो जाएगा. You have to
Yeah.
walk all your life.
Every child has their own
Yeah.
capability. They
And
learn with their own
you
pace.
will eat all your life. थोड़ा कम खा लिया तो क्या
Yeah.
फर्क पड़ेगा, ये चीज नहीं खाई तो क्या हो जाएगा. It's like once you establish that mindset, so many things become simple, and you don't put your child into a position of a weird rat race that everybody is in.
Yeah, we say so, but see, as and when you progress, you might sometimes feel that my child did not react in a certain way what was required. So if every child is clapping and snapping and singing, and then your child is not doing it, somewhere down the line, maybe you as a parent. So that's what I said. I'm an amalgamation of so many mommies, a calmer mommy like you, but I wasn't one when I started. So I'm saying that while you felt like that, there was a mother like me in the class, which I would admit this, that I kept thinking, okay, I love music, right? So I love dancing. Why did not my child enjoy that bit at that point in time? But today, when I look back, I think my son is in a more secured space than what I am. He is less negative. He's more positive. He's more about positives. He wouldn't, even if you tell him that I think this is wrong about you, he will say, no, I think this can be managed with something good about him. So that is something that has got established, and I hope that he remains and in fact value adds to me that I have also become more secure as a person, unlike what I was.
There's
A
a
child
lot.
changes you, I think, as a person. Both my kids, I have learned so much from them. Even one small thing, like you said, about being a calmer parent. So what I've observed, that a child has started to walk, he falls down, okay, and the moment he falls down, he looks at you for a second. He looks at you, and in that fraction of second, he decides whether to cry or not. So if we are reacting, oh my god, what happened, he will start crying. And if I start laughing, he will be like, acha, nothing happened. He'll get up and he'll continue start playing. I mean, that's so important that these kids teach us such beautiful things. And
Absolutely, I agree with
so that is why I feel that parenting is a rebirth of you. It's a chance for you to change yourself as a person, to get over your childhood traumas that were there. And just I'm just curious to know, so what things can be done at home to have a better learning space? Maybe not everyone has access to mother toddler programs, but what people can do in their home environment itself.
So I'll tell you, Tanvi, you rightly said that what happens, once you meet them into a forum and once you go back. Firstly, I want to say that parents are very greedy. I am also one of them, very greedy. Like my child would come out of a program and I'll say, okay, what happened? क्या सिखाया? क्या हुआ? बच्चों को बहुत नहीं सीखना है, उनको कंटिन्यूस सीखना है. So they love repetitions. Repetitions is a core part of early childhood learning. Your child can remember his or her name, however tough the name is. So let us take Shanaksh as a name. Now Shanaksh is a little difficult for me to pronounce, but Shanaksh knows his name very very well because दिन में वो 20 times या 100 times Shanaksh सुनता है, right? So in the same way, and even language. If I were to learn some language, it would be difficult for me right now. But for my child, because he's listening to multiple languages, he's adapted to all the three languages beautifully well. So what I was trying to say is that to answer your question, that what happens when you go outside the program. So the program was never an agenda. The program is not even the agenda. You can still be a fantastic early childhood mentor to your child in spite of not being a part of any program. You don't need to be a part of the program. First qualification, you already are a mother. Only thing is, when you come together, you inspire each other. You look forward to, okay, this is the way she is handling a particular tantrum, or this is the way she is handling her child. So respectfully, so elegantly, so nicely. When some parents are talking to each other, I take the good from everybody.
Like I have experienced a side of Sanveer in the classes which we didn't know. So when he's in a group, when the child is in a group, he gets to know, he explores certain sides of him which obviously he cannot do in isolation at home. So when there are four more kids, he learns to share, he learns to take what he wants, he learns to distribute, he learns to collect. This is something which he can do only in a forum or in a classroom, or where he's mingling with so many friends and so many people. And then my job becomes to just look at what he is in that class and then go back home and further enrich that side of him.
Yeah. So I was just coming to this point, which you very beautifully said. Watching your child have a particular trait, or what sparks joy for your child. Some kids like activities more, some kids like music more, some kids just like to move around and be all over the place. Now in this process, what happens is, when you send your child to a school where they are independent, you miss out on being a part of these small little experiences, to watch your child behave, take, not take, fight for it. And that's when you can function at home to autocorrect, or to make them certain skills, develop certain skills in them, to instill certain skills in them. So in certain times, we have encouraged kids to throw, because throwing requires power. It is not a negative thing all the time. It needs that energy, it needs that power. It is not aggression. Okay, you've done it in the right way. So I'm trying to tell here is that these are beautiful moments which you will experience when you are with them. Sending your child to the school and saying, okay, my child is very independent, is one aspect, but I'm not a part of seeing whether how my child is eating, how is my child dealing with the other kid. That's when these forums, or that's when, whether you're at home or whether outside, these moments are precious. And I think every new parent should definitely kind of absorb this feeling.
I think when you stay in a joint family, you have a lot of siblings and cousins around. With, like, for me, I watched my kid grow up with siblings, with kids around. So maybe I never felt the need of going to such a program. But what you said is really nice, that you need to see before they go into school, that The kid may or may not come and speak to you if something, God forbid, happens. That environment should be there, that trust should be there with the parent, that your child should come home and speak what happened, what not. And that trust, I feel, can be built in the early years with these immersive learning programs. So Ruchita, when we were young and we were kids being raised, I think we all are from the millennial generation. So we were scared of our parents, and for because our parents were struggling with giving us the basic needs. At that time, the basic needs were food, shelter, and all those things. So to have a home of their own and to give a good education to the children was the only agenda. In that process, especially, the fathers were mostly outside the house, and our primary caregiver was the mom. Very few cases there were nannies who actually brought up children, and it was always the mom who was our point of contact कि dad से भी कुछ चाहिए तो mom के through ही बोलना है. So it was like that. But like you said, that there was never a moment where maybe our parents have hugged us or expressed love. In fact, we were more scared to tell anything to our parents. So maybe if I had my first crush, or maybe those early puberty years, I did not know who to talk to. But I don't want that to happen with my child. So we can see different parenting styles coming up uh, than what was earlier when we were brought up, and what how I am bringing up my child. So can you throw some light on that?
Yeah, so this is very interesting for me because one is like you said, one what happened with us, that was one story, and now also there are so many variety of parents, and it is interesting to see them. Honestly, I have a great time when I interact with different parents. Some are into very very over scheduling, or rather their schedules are fixed, their timetables are fixated, their meals are fixated, as good as they would know that okay, today my child is going to have XXXX, whatever it is. But I have kind of understood that nowadays people have started treating their children as their MBA project. And I will be honest, sometimes even I have done that, because it is Ruchita's son, everybody knows, and okay, he has to be like good at XXXX things, yeah. But with age and maturity, even I've come to acceptance that certain things of my trait will not be with my child. It takes time, but yeah, like I said, I also feel that okay, fine, you got to do this because everybody is like Ruchita's son. Yeah, how will he or she speak? And the same is the case with 70 to 80% of the parents. That we have done this, but we want you to be a superstar. Today, there is so much of pressure on the kids. If you ask me, they have to look good, they have to dress well, they have to be good at some artistic thing your child has to do. They have to be good in academics. There is no two way that you cannot be good in academics is not a question. There is no option for a child. And similarly, there is so much of, so of course the intention of a parent is to ensure that they are leading them to a very beautiful and a very successful life. But in this process, what is happening is the children are under not really a so-called pressure, but there is an inbuilt pressure on the child that I have to go for my soccer class, I have to go for my drawing class, I have to go for my music class because mama wants me to play a guitar, because everybody is learning some form of art, but I am not learning, so I got to be there too. And and then there are some parents who talk about gentle parenting. They don't shout at their kids at all, and I keep looking at them that, oh wow, what how calm are they? So yeah, but there is a very thin line between gentle parenting or a child-led parenting, as they say, or no rule parenting, let your child decide everything. So there are so many categories, but and I'm saying that yes, time and again I shift roles. There are times when I'm like, okay, you do what you want to do, and then there are times when I'm like, no, this will not happen, I think this is good for you. And all of us will go through that phase. All of us will play different roles, good cop, bad cop. All of us will go through that phase. But I feel that there is something called conscious parenting. You are not there to only correct your child, but you are there to guide them. And I always give an analogy of Rajma Chawal. Somebody says I can make a very nice biryani. Suddenly, a biryani is not made by a amateur person. You need to know the basic of cooking a rice. You need to know basic of how much water should be added, how much heat it has to have. So all this direction is given by your mentors, your parents, or your grandparents. So those directions are needed. That is a must have. So this word of gentle parenting, also over scheduling, but there are so many classes now and there is so much hurry with parents that I need to send my child. I can see children in second and third grade learning coding. So yeah, so I don't know. First of all, I don't know what is coding. One. Second, I don't understand that why is that child getting overexposed at this age. Let them live their childhood. Let the children be children. I cannot have so I also of course tell my child that you need to be disciplined when somebody is there. This is the way. You just can't keep on leaning and you're not neat and clean. You got to do all those things. These are basic points which you have to keep in mind as an individual, but you cannot pressurize your child to become a gentleman immediately.
This really tampers with their individuality, is what I feel. Take a discipline and everything has its own place. But what I feel is that nowadays parents are confused whether they are really bringing up children with love, fear, or discipline. I mean, it's somewhere where you are channelizing your own emotions on them. You've been trying to make them your own product of your particular brand. Like, I am the brand, and this is my product, and this has to be this certain way. And I feel that is a little bit of selfish on our end, because हम अपने respect उनके साथ attach कर रहे हैं. So there was this very wonderful dialogue in this movie, this दे दे प्यार दे टू, which really strikes me, कि अगर मेरे कुछ करने से आपकी इज्जत खराब हो जाती तो वो आपकी इज्जत कैसे हुई. तो आपकी इज्जत ही नहीं है शायद, इसलिए it is dependent on what my actions are. Like the daughter tells it to her father, and it was so true.
It is.
That why is our respect dependent on what our child does? Let it be their respect, and let our respect be dependent on our actions towards the child.
Yeah.
I mean, that is so
I
important
think when
to keep
we
in mind.
take our kids to our office also, okay, they know that, okay, he or she is the boss's son or the
Yeah.
daughter. So I don't think I have ever asked my child that, okay, see, you have to behave a certain way because entire 100 employees are looking at you. Why that pressure has to be there on the kids? Let him be, as even if somebody is judging, keep it to yourself. They're not going to come and
Nobody
say it
will.
on the
That
face.
is a fantastic thought, and that is the right way of doing it. I must compliment you for thinking that way, honestly. But that's what has happened is it's got very complex. Now everybody thinks that okay, fine, we are making our child ready for future. They are nice parents also. They spend more time, unlike our parents. They spend more time because they have the bandwidth. We all have the bandwidth to spend that much of time. Earlier times, moms were so busy in the kitchen or otherwise that they did not have time and the bandwidth that they are going to sit with you and engage with your children. So I think that's where the whole difference lies. You are spending time with your kid, you're investing more with them, you're inventing more classes, more avenues for them, while may work for some of them but may not work for quite a few. And like I always say, the inventions have taken place in boredom, not in overscheduling systems. If I'm already directed that okay, now I have to go for my maths, okay, now I need to go for my dance, now I need to go here, there is no time for creativity to spurt because I am totally conditioned to certain levels of direction. So my only request is to everybody that we can take it slow. We of course have to give them flavors of what they need to learn, what should be the case, what can be the future for them, but at the same time not being too gentle that okay, fine, you decide, you don't want to do anything, suddenly you want to get up and do photography and not do anything else.
There has to be a balance.
For that, I again correlated to early childhood learning. When I give my child the time that I'm listening to you, he or she will listen to me eventually, because at least consult me. May not follow, that depends on, how it's going to be for them. May not follow, but then there is communication that is established in early childhood, that in the further process when you're moving, at least the communication should be open. The freedom to speak, the freedom that my parents are watching me, safeguarding me, and I'm in a safe space to tell my parents and express, and no judgments on that. That's the whole idea. So I think different parenting style, we will see eventually what's going to work for all of them. Yeah, gentle parenting, child-led parenting, over scheduling, not scheduling at all. So it's complex, but I think it's time for all of us to wait and watch. But we will see what works for whom. Might work for some
You
of
got to
them.
enjoy the ride, because you get to be a parent of a 1.5-year-old only once. At least that one
Wow,
and a half year old,
that's a lot.
unless, and then the 2 year, you'll be a parent of 2 year old after a few months. So you have to enjoy that process. I think half of your parenting questions get answered over there.
And kids grow up pretty quickly.
Very quickly.
Before you
yeah.
realize, I think it's more important to cherish those years and create
Just
beautiful
live it up with
memories.
them. Live it up with them.
Yeah,
True,
yeah,
true.
And we are very privileged that we have that time.
Yes.
We have that time.
We have more facilities than what our parents had, like you said.
Yes.
So we can watch
I
them
think there is a
grow.
good trade off. I mean, that's a debate for another day.
Yeah.
One thing that we as women, going forward, is what I would like to discuss is that we have a home, we have a child, and we have work, or you're building a business, and you're doing all this together, and you aren't supposed to be proud about it. Yet the society really celebrates working women, but guilt trips working mothers.
Yes.
So the momtrepreneur, like how you like to call it,
Yeah.
how does it, how can one flourish in being a mommy entrepreneur?
Yeah, I know it's such a tricky one, honestly.
He's doing it flawlessly, but
No, I also run with a huge mommy guilt all the time. But yes, I'm also very proud to see my son very proud of me. So I've seen that, like, he was pretty happy that I'm going to be speaking today. He's waiting to, he's going to watch this episode and see how mama is speaking about him, about me, about my relationship with him. Having said that, yeah, being a mommypreneur is absolutely very, very challenging. One problem that I've faced, as when you introduced me, you said that I was working in a corporate. So the dignity you carry when you're working inside a cabin and when you're working from home is absolutely different. The perception is absolutely different. And it's very close to my heart that just because I'm not sitting in a cabin today, I don't have a big laptop in front of me, and I don't have a bigger name or a brand to work with, I don't think people have taken it that seriously. They have not taken my job that seriously. The perception has been that, okay, she's doing it, she loves doing, this is her hobby. So while it was my hobby, my son was my MBA project when I got into motherhood, I was pretty excited. But when I saw the impact I was having on my child, and when my other people around me saw the impact it had, they wanted me to value add. The play became purpose for me. It was, I really felt that yes, I can value add. I can love more. I can give so much love to the other kid also. And it's not easy. It's not easy to hold all the babies with you, connect to them, connect so many mothers. Maybe I felt all these moments very, very preciously. And mommypreneur is never driven by system. It is driven by soul. I really mean it, because I do feel bad about not working in the corporate. But today I'm no less than a CEO, sitting there and managing work, team, systems, meetings, and many times my meetings and my deals happen in the back seat of my car between pickup and drop of my child. That I have to manage his pickup, drop, because at the end of the day, you're a mommypreneur. So entrepreneur comes later. Mommy, what comes first? So the challenge is very, very high.
I think being a mom itself makes you an entrepreneur.
I know.
Yeah.
All the multitasking.
Multitasking that you do, even if I am sitting in office, I am tracking where my daughter's school bus has reached, whether she has been dropped home or not, and your alarm rings at
Absolutely.
2 o'clock. I will check that my phone will give me a notification your daughter has been dropped. Then whether she has had food or not, whether it's a nanny taking care or it's a grandparent who's the caregiver, a mommy is always
Yeah, that
there.
radar is
I
always
think that
active.
makes you a better entrepreneur, I feel. And
True.
what I have learned after becoming a mom now with 2 kids, I think I have been very surprised. Oh my god, how is it possible for anyone to do so many things? I actually sit with my husband and I list out the things that I do in a
In a
day.
day.
That's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the efficiency really goes 2x. Like जितना काम आप पहले 8 घंटे में करते थे डेस्क पे बैठ के लैपटॉप के सामने,
Yeah.
अब आपको आधा घंटा चाहिए वो काम
Yes.
करने के लिए. जब the baby is napping,
Hmm.
you quickly have these phone calls. You
Hmm.
finish that 8 hours worth work in half an hour. That's how efficient
Yes.
becoming a mother is.
And I want to tell all men and fathers
I
here,
just want to say men should
Yeah.
try it.
Yeah, I don't think they are
They
not
can.
wired that way that they can
Yeah.
do that way. But what I want to add is, and I tell it to my men employees also, that you should respect the woman in your life. If you, for what she is doing, even if she's sitting at home or she is in an office, you don't know what all she's doing. And whether you, okay, love is important, but you respect her, you appreciate the hassle that she's doing to keep your home together, and see how she blossoms. I think that is what a woman needs after all.
No, I agree with you. And like all of us say that there's so much of hustle doing kids, your own, and today's women, we have to do everything for ourselves also. And you have to handle the kids. There is a home to manage and other responsibilities that comes in by being a mother. But still, when you try and do something where your heart belongs to the hustle and heart, I was so happy to be a part of it, because I felt that, this is what it is. My daily routine has so much of hustle, but my heart is in everything that I'm doing, whether it's my kid, my work, people whom I meet. So yeah, that's a part of it. So mommypreneurship is of course very challenging. I think what I really felt was dealing with the challenges that, the perception management that she's not a hobbyist. I'm not a hobbyist that, okay, I love talking to kids and all. No, that was at a point in time, but it is got scaled up to some other levels. So it is not my hobby and passion to play with other kids. It is not. It
Very
is,
meaningful what you're doing.
yeah. No, I genuinely feel very proud, very happy of meeting so many wonderful parents, being a part of their celebration, their memories. And I think one value system that I've told my child also, that you got to be very thoughtful in anything what you do. Few days, like last year, he had his exams during Valentine's Day. He doesn't know what is Valentine's Day, but I kept saying Valentine's Day, Valentine's Day. And before his exam, I told him, okay, you have to make a greeting card for me. And he was like, क्या बनाऊं मैं अभी, क्या मेरे पास कुछ नहीं है. I said, नहीं आप बनाओ. And he made something. And I told him, I don't know if he understood it then, but I will reiterate every Valentine's Day, that work hard, play hard, but love the hardest. तो चलेगा. एग्जाम में कल का क्वेश्चन मैं देख लूंगी. पहले आप मेरे लिए ग्रीटिंग, just to have, not that I want a card from him for me, but maybe whoever he is in future, to be more thoughtful. So your value installations in early childhood learning, as a part of a mommypreneur, as a part of today's parenting style, values is something that you will give your child more than education, and it will all fall in place.
Very good thought, I think. It's very good note that we can, conclude this wonderful conversation with. And before we conclude it, we have a rapid fire round.
Okay.
And You just need to be as spontaneous and as wonderful you've been in the conversation. It's going to be very good.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah, so
lovely.
are you ready?
Yes, let's go ahead.
So these are questions around your subject and a lot from what we already spoke, but it has to be rapid and crisp.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the first question. One parenting mistake you've made but learned the most from.
Comparisons. Comparing my child.
That's very strong. One truth you want every mother listening to sit with tonight.
Don't forget to express your love to your kids. Make them feel proud.
The hardest decision you've taken as a founder that your child will never know about.
There are too many of them. But yeah, of course, at times I'm not available for him and I'm needed somewhere else and constantly, into juggling whether I should be with him or at times I could not attend I missed one of his running race because I was busy at work. Yeah.
One lie moms are taught to believe about balance.
That आपको सब कुछ करना है बच्चे के मामले में तो there is no compromise, you have to do it, but it's not necessary. I think I'm okay being a parent where I say that मुझसे ये नहीं हुआ, I cannot do it. So you have to be candid enough, honest enough to yourself that I will do it, I'll compensate, but at that point in time it was not available, I could not do it.
A boundary you failed to protect and paid the price for.
My role as a mompreneur, I still crave for people to take my work seriously and give me that much of respect. I think I could not really ensure that I reached out to people in the right way.
These were really fabulous answers and we've got to learn a lot from you today. Thank you
Glad
so
to have
much.
met you and Tanvi, and I also picked up a lot of good things from you. You know
Great,
that.
great.
Yeah,
Now we're
thank you.
waiting.
Today's conversation wasn't just about parenting or early learning or entrepreneurship. It was about identity, intention, and impact, and how the smallest moments shape the biggest lives. And to every mother listening, you're not behind, you're not failing, and you're not alone. You're learning, evolving, and growing, just like your child. This is Hustle and Heart, where ambition meets reality and purpose meets presence.